Mae Govannen, my Elven brothers and sisters, and happy for those that celebrate the holiday. Happy early Christmas with Christmas Eve today. For those that celebrate other holidays, may all of you have a most blessed holiday. Today is a short video, and this one may be a bit controversial for some. Some people may not like it, but I just wanted to express my perception on something that's going around pretty big right now since the Christmas star came out on the winter solstice and so many other things, politics, electing a Democrat, and on and on and on, all the politics. I'm seeing a lot of talk and chatter now about the new earth, that we are now in the new earth emerging. It's beginning to happen. And I wanted to give my perspective on that, all right? And some of you may not like it. Some of you might agree. That's the beauty of life. One of the beauties is that we can all express our perceptions of it and with our own take. All right, so this one is about the new earth, and what, at least to me, what does that mean, and what can we do about possibly helping to create that, if that's how we perceive it. So this is about the new earth, and what does that really mean, at least from my perspective, from at least an Elven perspective, so to speak. All right, so a new earth. For thousands of years, this has been said that the new earth is just around the corner. But each time it is not just around the corner. But the problem is with so many people's perception of the new earth is that they equate it on a global scale, that the earth is getting ready to emerge into this beautiful new planet of cooperation and harmony and unity. And each time, sad, but each time, so to speak, that prophecy does not come true. And why is that? Why is it that we never quite see it? It's because we individually are not looking for it. We're not opening our eyes. All right, this has happened on truly an infinite number of worlds, and it's always the same. World after world after world strives for that new age, for that healing of the children of that particular world. And it's always the same. It never happens on a global scale. It's all small steps, as we'll talk about here in a few. It's one soul at a time. And for Earth's history, this has happened over and over again. The story of Atlantis, the generation after Jesus, they said this was going to be, it said in the next generation, Book of Revelations, and it was misinterpreted. And they thought, well, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. And it didn't happen. Around 1000 AD, they said it again. 1,000 years since Jesus, this must be it. And it didn't happen. And then 2001, they said it was going to happen again. The end of the Mayan calendar, and on and on and on. And that's not really what the Mayan calendar stated. The interpretations were footloose and fancy-free with it. And that didn't happen again. All right, so with each new generation, with each new religion, they have predicted that the new earth is just around the corner. And I get it. It's important to spread hope, to give hope to others. But what it sometimes causes, though, is to cause people to wait for it, to wait for something. Instead of helping to create it within themselves, they wait for it to happen. And I personally have seen this as an individual and as a doctor. I've watched people waiting for somebody else to do it, waiting for something to happen. And maybe it's already here. Maybe we already have it within our grasp, and we're just not opening our eyes and seeing that. All right, why is this? Why does the new heaven, new earth, new heaven never seem to quite happen on a global scale? In a large part because there are 7.5 billion humans on this world. That's 7.5 billion stories, 7.5 billion songs that are going on right now, not including all the other children of this earth, but just amongst the human souls alone, 7.5 billion different songs going on. And until we each learn that we can sing in unison, a new earth on a global scale will never happen. All right, a beautiful prime example of this comes from Tolkien. And from those who are familiar with the book, the Silmarillion, the first book of it is the Ainulindale, which literally means the music of the Ainur. In some religions, they would equate that to the music of the angels. All right, and it was said by Tolkien that with the first music that there ever was before creation itself, that each of the Ainu, each of the angels, they all had a particular understanding of that particular part of God's mind. So this one understood this one understood this one understood this. They all had a different perspective. And so when it came time for them to sing, to sing before Eru, their praise and gratitude about Eru's love and for the upcoming creation, they each sang alone or in small groups. It took millennia. It took a very long time from our perspective before they began to slowly grow in groups and larger groups until finally there did come a time. After thousands of years, millions of years, billions of years, they finally sang before Eru as a single chorus. So if it took the angels a long time, I think we can give humanity the benefit of the doubt and give humanity a break. It's going to take a long time. That doesn't diminish the hope of what we have and the possibility within ourselves. All right, as Jesus said, and again, I'm not trying to wax religious. I am not religious, I'm spiritual, but I know that within each religion, within each philosophy, there is a grain of truth that you can learn from them. I have traveled around the world and been through many different religions and philosophies, many different churches and temples and cathedrals and so forth, and each one did have something to offer. All right, as Jesus stated, the kingdom of heaven, the new earth, right, is found within. Is found within each and every one of you. As is known in Buddhism, the earth is a paradise. It already is a paradise. It's our perspective and our actions towards her that needs to change. All right? The earth doesn't have to change. We do, individually, one at a time. All right, yes, I know I'm going to hear from a lot of you that, okay, how can the earth be a paradise with all the mass destruction and the massive amount of deaths that are going on this now, with the great die-off of the mass species extinctions that are going on. This is horrible, absolutely horrible. And humans can take the blame for most of what's going on, absolutely. All right. And so much of it is being done through fear. As I've said in many other videos of mine, we have two choices in life. We can choose to make a decision out of fear, or we can choose to make it out of love. And unfortunately, most things are being done through fear in this world right now. And that can be expressed as greed, anger, hatred, war. It goes on and on. But there is good news. Okay, Samwise was right. There is something to see good in life. All right, this world will survive. With or without humans. Humans will never destroy this world. It would never be allowed in the first place, but they would never get so far as to destroy this world. All right, the world will survive. It may take a while, but it will happen. It will heal. If the human species kills itself off and they're part of the world, she will still heal. And the next species can take over. Maybe they can do a better job of cherishing her in life. Or maybe humans can still grab that opportunity and make the changes now. All right. So what has been meant about the term New Earth? Okay, through all the predictions and so forth, if you look into the predictions, into the prophecies, and the people behind those prophecies, what were they really saying on the long run, long haul? Is they didn't mean it on a global scale. It may never happen on a global scale. I believe it could, but it may not for a very, very long time. What they meant was that a new heaven and a new earth, as Jesus spoke, all right, this happens within you, and it can be seen within each and every one of you, individually, one at a time, all right? So many worlds have already experienced this, that it is the drive within the universe, for world after world, for those that care about the world, that they want to see it heal. They want to know that it is going to get better. All right. But it never happens that way. It's one soul at a time. In that video that I often show, I will be showing again one more time, at least, at the end of this video, the little tiny clip, I think it's less than a minute, from Contact with Jodie Foster, where it's in that scene where she's standing before the alien in the form of her dad in that alternate reality. And she goes, but I have so many questions and I want to spread the word, so to speak. And he looked at her and he said, this is the way it's been done for billions of years. Small steps, one soul at a time. And that's a good thing. All right. So truly, how do we get this to happen? All right, at least on an individual basis. All right, truly for a new earth to manifest, it must first manifest within you. All right, to make a lasting effect upon this world, you must first create it within yourself. All right, you must first create that new earth within you. All right, then and only then can you go into the world and begin to heal your small part of it. All right, it will not happen through politics. It never has in all of human history. Politics will never cure it. Washington, when this country was being designed, Washington was adamant against the multi-party system. He said all it will do, and he was pretty prophetic, he said all it will do is cause division. No politics has ever healed the world, and it never will. To count on that is again another form of waiting on someone else. Einstein stated the definition of insanity, many of you know this, that the definition of insanity is to doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Well, that has been done over and over again, and no political party has ever had the world's best interests at heart and never will, and no political party has ever healed the world. You know, I've had some arguments, I'd like them to be debates, I've had arguments with others where, okay, but at least this party's doing this, or at least this party's doing this. But they're not doing this together, and they never will. That's just an attribute of politics. All right. It's just a different road to hell. Okay, so the way to heal yourself and the world at large is through two simple methods. It's really quite simple. Life is simple. We choose to make things difficult. Love and education. Let the new earth manifest within you, and then you will be a shining example for all others. People on a global scale have not and never will change the world on a global scale overnight or even within multiple generations. It has to start with you, one soul at a time. It takes each of us along our own path and at our own pace, walking the walk, walking the path. And this is so important so that others can look down on that path, look down on the ground and see your footprint and go, yes, it can be done. He or she went that way. They walked that way. They walked the path. It can be done. I can do it too. Be a shining example. Go forth out into the world like that. As shown in this little video clip that I'll be tacking on the end of this here in just a few, each and every world discovers this very same thing, and now it's Earth's turn. That it's all in small steps, one soul at a time, over thousands or even maybe more than that in years. We will not see a new Earth on a global scale for hundreds or thousands of years from now. But you can create it within yourself in the blink of an eye, if you are ready to look at the world with new eyes, with a new heart. Okay. To create a new heaven and a new earth, you must first create it within yourself. Let's start with ourselves, and slowly, one soul at a time, we can experience the new earth within our own lives. We do not need to escape to inner earths or into space or wait out our lives in vain. We can start today, Christmas Eve, creating a new earth within our own lives, within our own souls. I'm not saying that these other videos and these other discussions going on don't have value, because they do. It at least brings us to the knowledge that, yes, hey, you know what? Maybe we can have a new earth on a global scale. What concerns me is that they think it's going to happen really soon when most humans still don't even know how to sing together yet. But you can start it now. You can create, manifest that new earth within yourself, go out into the world, and then you can help heal and teach others to do the same. And maybe over time, we might see it happen on a global scale one day. Anyway, have a most blessed and joyous Elven holiday, one filled with love and not fear, filled with compassion for all of Earth's children, because that's the only way we're going to have a new Earth happen one day, is through compassion, one soul at a time for each of Earth's children. Blessed holiday to all of you. Namaste, my Elven brothers and sisters.
You're an interesting species. An interesting mix. You're capable of such beautiful dreams. And such horrible nightmares. You feel so lost. So cut off. So alone. Only you're not. See, in all our searching, the only thing we've found that makes the emptiness bearable is each other.
What happens now?
Now, you go home.
Home? But I have so many questions. Do we get to come back?
This was just the first step. In time, you'll take another.
But other people need to see what I've seen. They need to see...
This is the way it's been done for billions of years. Small moves, Ellie. Small moves.